voice seems kind of hoarse. Just realised when I opened my mouth to speak. So I've got a cold. I've been coughing and sneezing. I got a chesty cough. And I feel like I sound like a sort of some kind of movie villain or something. Hello. I think my voice doesn't normally sound that deep. Because I've been coughing. It's 3 minutes until the open of the US session here. Funny thing is, I traded the DAX. And I was trading it at the open. And I said to myself a couple of times that this week looks quite bullish. This is the daily bar. Got one big bull bar, small bear bar, follow through with a big bull bar, and then another bull bar yesterday. And the open started selling off quite hard in the DAX. Here was the open, and it was making 2 legs down, and I kept saying to myself, I'm pretty sure that what will happen towards the close of this session is the market will rally and the bulls will try to close as big a bull bar on the daily chart because it's trading so close to last week high. To the high of the week. This was here. I still think that it will want to close a really strong bull bar on the daily chart and get as strong a close on the weekly bar as possible here because it's so close to the high of the week. That's what I was saying to myself during the DAX, but I only trade for an hour and a half and then I stop no matter what. Because I just get too exhausted to sit here for like 4 or 5 hours, and I thought it will probably do this until the end of the session. The end of the European session comes in an hour and a half. But it's now the open of the US session. I thought, yeah, I'll probably close really high. But ironically, I wasn't here to attempt to trade that. I've seen weeks like this that really rally strongly towards the end of the week, even though it chops around for a while. Then it has a really strong close. Because it is bullish. You know, I was telling myself, even though it's making legs down on the open, if you look at the larger time frame, like the weekly and the daily, it looks bullish, which tells me that large institutions are positioned long. If you look at the monthly, large institutions are positioned long. The evidence is right there. nose is really bad. I think the same is true in the NASDAQ, to be honest. I've marked up some important levels, well, levels that I find are useful to track, like yesterday's high, yesterday's close, and yesterday's low. So pretty much a big bull bar. Actually, was it? Where was the open? Here. So yeah, it was kind of a big bull bar yesterday, with a tail on top. And today there's a gap up. And a big spike on the open, attempting to trade to the Globex high, the high of the global exchange. I think it was slightly higher probability that it would go up and test that high before it goes down and tests that low. I mean, it's closer to the high than it is to the low, so probably maybe a slightly higher probability that it would test the high first. I mean, that sort of makes sense in principle to me because it's trading up here closer to that price, so it must be more bullish as opposed to the low of the Globex low. So just by definition, it seems more bullish and more likely to test that price. Of course, I have seen it where the market is trading near the Globex high and it opens and it goes down and tests, for example, the Globex low before it tests the high. I have seen that, and that surprised me. I think that is a low probability event, especially if that happens now, having been sort of like 8 points away from the Globex high. If this market sells off here, like this, and goes down to the Globex low, like down here. Oh wait, what am I? Sorry, no, not like that. A little bit confused here. So that was, oh yeah, so this is the Globex session here. So that's the Globex low. It would be very surprising to me if the market sells off like this and goes and tests this Globex low. It's so close to this price. Up here. Maybe breaks it a little bit. And does something. Okay, second push here by the bulls, it seems. On the smaller time frame. Another push up on the 1 minute chart. Running into some resistance. A little bit of resistance. I'm having a cup of tea. Hot tea. It's really hot, but it feels good. had two little scalps in the DAX. I made around 1%. My risk was very small on those scalps, and I was trading a quarter of the normal size that I trade. Just because I was expecting the market to go up, but it was making, it made two legs down. I was confused by that. Well, actually, it made more legs down afterwards. So I was around here. And then it made another leg down, 3 pushes down. Basically what is called in Al Brooks trading course a wedge bottom. 3 pushes down, a possible reversal pattern. And it did do that. It did reverse. It broke out of a bear channel. A bear channel here. I can see these things in my mind's eye without having to draw them. But after about 2 years of trading, I can sort of see them. So I hardly ever draw patterns on the chart. But it broke out of a bear channel, a clear bear channel here. 3 pushes down. And usually it sets up 2 legs up. 1, 2. I've seen this countless times in all charts, like I've seen it in gold. If I show gold on a 1 hour time frame, 60-minute time frame, I remember looking at this at the big sell-off that happened here when gold, like silver went up 10% and then it sold off more than 10%. This is really interesting. So notice this bear channel here. Something like this, whatever. It's a really, really big sell-off here. A type bear channel. Something like that. A bear channel. And then it closed. It broke out of that and had 2 legs up. Actually had more legs up. Yeah, 1. Yeah, at least 2 legs up. This one had 3 legs up. I don't know. It depends how you count these legs. And then it sold off again later. Something like that. It had more legs up. Wow. I stopped looking at it. Anyway, whatever. I'm looking at NASDAQ. Wow, bar 1 is big. Is it? Yeah, I think it's like around 100 points. Which is funny because yesterday's 15-minute bar was only 130 points. So the volatility is a bit bigger than yesterday. I think it is an always in long situation at the moment. If you had to do anything right now in this market, I think you would want to be long. You would not want to be short. So if you're always in, if you have to have all your money deployed all the time, like if you're some institution that has to have investors' money deployed, right now, you would only be long. Based on what has happened thus far. It could change. And in the Nasdaq, it can change very quickly, can sell off very quickly. The only thing this market has done so far is break new highs. It made a high with the opening bar, and then it broke it. It's broken the Globex high. It's broken a swing high here in the pre-market. It's only broken highs. Nothing more. I think as a scalper, I find this stuff really important. But let's see if I can find something good in this session. I'm not too, I don't really feel much pressure to trade anything today, really. I'm up like 5% on the week. So I've had a good week, especially after last week, which was, I found it a very difficult week to trade. About to sneeze. Oh, crap. Well, I found it a difficult week to trade last week. I only had like 2% profit for the week. It was, look at how fast this is changing now. A huge pullback. Some resistance above the Globex high. I would not trade shorts just yet. I mean, it just fell. Oh my god, this always happens to me when the US session opens. I get disconnected from my broker. If I'm in a trade, I find that really annoying. But I do have another screen over here which I have my broker platform on, and it shows all my positions here, so I can manage them from that platform on another screen. It's still a bit annoying, actually. I sort of assume that it is because there are a ton of people logged on now trading the US Open. So there's lag and server is burdened, maybe? Servers are overburdened. So on the 5-minute chart, I like to look at how these bars behave during the formation of the bar as well. Like if a bar spends most of its time trading at its low, or if it keeps spiking up and down, I like to look at the way the bar behaves. There are some buyers showing up. They just showed up below prior bar low to try and buy a pullback here. See how their trade goes. I should pause my mic for this. Yeah, the buyer's stepping in below prior bar low. Yeah, let's see how their trade goes. If they get trapped or if their trade starts taking off, that may attract more buyers, I think. Were they to get trapped and possibly something like this happens, I sort of like to imagine future possibilities so that I'm ready to react if something like that happens. So say you bought there below prior bar low, and then the market does this, makes a new low for the day, and then it reverses up and comes back to your entry price. What are you going to do? You might choose to get out break even and wait for a better opportunity. And the market goes up here and then sells off hard because all the longs gave up on their longs. That could happen. And if you're aware of this stuff, where longs could be trapped if the market sells off, then what you can do, and what I do sometimes, is I look for shorts at this location. And if I get price action supporting my idea that there are bulls in a painful trade here, and they get out break even, the so-called pain trade, I may choose to trade if I recognize that there is someone trapped at some level, I may choose to place a position there to bet on the fact that they're going to do the rational thing and get out break even. That's why 50% retracements happen, where traders who sell, for example, a new high, they get trapped by a breakout and they sell higher, and you get a 50% retracement and the market moves back up. When trapped shorts at this level make a 50% retracement because they sold here and they sold here, and then net break even, and it goes like this. You get a 50% retracement because shorts buy back their shorts. They become buyers in the market. A lot of times you get these pullbacks like a breakout above the level, and it comes back and fills the gap, and then it goes up. Not always though. Okay, stop talking and actually just watch the price action. So two bull bars on the open, strong, closing near their high. This bar here that has just gone above the high of the prior bar, trapping longs on a stop above and trapping them. So there are some trapped bulls, I believe, in this market. I think there are more trapped bulls than there are trapped bears currently. It may make sense to trade against trapped traders. There are definitely going to be trapped bulls here, because consecutive bull bars are a buy signal, and market moving above the prior high will be a signal for many traders to buy long above there. Or they may choose to buy the close of this bull bar. Sometimes if the market retraces up here, comes back up here, it'll be very interesting to see if bulls choose to get out break even there, and it sells off from there, creating a double top lower high. Oops. 15-minute bar did close a bull bar though. It is a weak looking bull bar because it's closing below Oh no, it's closing above its 50% point. So it's sort of not a strong bull bar. But it is a bull bar, so a small edge to the bulls, no doubt. Right now, 2 consecutive bear bars. Sell signal. Probably not a very good one because the body of this bar is tiny. And it's not closing on its low. I haven't really seen anything yet that I'm thinking. I mean, obviously I would have liked to be short, but maybe I could have sold short here. The close of this bar. So I got 2 bear bars. An attempt at trend resumption here, and that failed. So maybe I could have gotten short there for a scalp. If I had gotten short, my stop loss right now would be here at the high of this bar. I would have trailed it down. And if there's a bull surprise here and it suddenly rockets up, I'd be stopped out right here. My entry would be right there. So I'd make a loss of 3 points. As soon as this bar would close, I would move my stop loss above that bar. So 2 legs down for the bears now on a small time frame. That could be it for the bears. That could set up more legs up. Let's see. Maybe if there is some bullish price action, it could be worth getting long, because last week's high is up here as well. That could be a target. Maybe some profit taking above the Globex high. I don't know. So on the 15-minute time frame, it looks as though there is a sort of rounded bottom here, a cup, but a cup needs a handle. So you would think some kind of pullback and then higher, but I'm not sure. Just try to do my best here to read the price action. So 3 consecutive bear bars now. Big tails on the bottom. That does not look like a great buy signal here. This bar. So even if it goes up, I don't imagine it will go up very far. Yesterday's high here, maybe a market wants to test that. Yesterday's close down here. Maybe a gap fill on the cards. I think if it were to fill the gap to yesterday's close, that could set up more downside. Yeah, I think a move to the close of yesterday would be some significant damage to this sort of bull channel. I mean, could set up more down. I don't know. I'm not sure if my reading of that situation is correct. I just think when you have big moves in certain direction against the trend, it does significant damage to the confidence of people who are holding positions. They may choose to get out, setting up more downside. So a bear channel now, the smaller time frame. 4th bear bar now. What is going on here? I think it's a trading range open. An inside bar. Closing in 1 minute and 40 seconds. On the 15-minute chart. I'm not quite sure what to make of it right now. I feel like the always in direction could change to being either neutral or short. But the market was definitely always in long on the first 2 bars. 2 5-minute bars, I think. Put the market in an always in long condition. There still hasn't been a pullback. And I think the first bar that goes above the high of the prior bar is a long setup. It's a high one long. It is the first attempt at trend resumption in the 5-minute chart. So be interesting to see if it prints a buy signal now after this bar closes. Okay, could be now. Excuse me, I'm just coughing. Okay, so may print a buy signal now by going above the high of a prior bar. There it is. That is a long signal. An immediate sell-off. So algorithms printing a long signal and trying to trap longs maybe into a bad long. I'm thinking right now that what I may do is I may trade against these longs here who bought long just there because they just immediately got trapped. Right there. Quickly. So I think there are a lot of bulls trapped here. My problem is this bar's just growing now, so the risk is gonna be pretty big. If I sell the close of that bar. I really don't like these big bars. Oh, that's fucking annoying. Come on. That is ridiculous. I'm not gonna take this trade. If I get a small pullback, maybe I will. The problem is with these bars, if you just got long, anyone is looking for a tiniest pullback just to minimize their loss. And it never comes. Fuck. And it can set up a real big acceleration down. I don't think I have had enough evidence to sell the long signal, because it's a long signal. But I suppose some people are trading like that where they bet on something to fail. Ah, man, come on. Gotta be able to structure some kind of short here, possibly, for a gap close. It is at yesterday's high now, that's the other problem. Might be people looking to get long there. Buyers waiting in ambush. Ah, come on. I think I will sell this with a view to get out quickly if it starts to go wrong. I sold it in quarter position size, so only a quarter of my normal position size because the stop loss is big. And I'll just assess how it goes. Probably don't need a stop loss this big. It's about 80 points at the moment, which is really big for me. US tech, where is it? $2.5 a point. I'm just getting my ticket ready here to exit if I see something I don't like. Maybe a profit target could be yesterday's close, actually. If I'm trying to swing it. My problem is I sold right at the low of the day, which could be where some buyers are trying to step in. But I wanted to try a short, so I chose to go quarter size. But just because it's a smaller amount of money than I would normally risk, it doesn't mean I want to make a mistake. Or treat this trade any less seriously than I would a normal position size. I think it's time to move my stop loss down somewhat. So I'm risking about $50. The market is pulling back at yesterday's high. Some buyers stepping in, perhaps. Not great. Back to my entry price. Could get stopped out here. Ironically, I did have about 50 points in profit. Should probably get out above this bar. Yeah. No, okay. I'm moving my stop loss down again. If the bears can't get any follow through here, I don't want to be in this trade anymore. So I'm making a loss of $28 here, it seems. I don't see this improving now. Been stopped out. Okay. was worth attempting for a quick sell-off down to maybe yesterday's close. But this was a target for shorts for sure. This high of yesterday. So maybe some profit taking. Um, so 2 consecutive bull bars now. A doji, a perfect doji on the 5-minute chart here. I'm going to buy it here. I already don't like it. the loss. So I have to be a little bit careful here now. I find reversing position to be the hardest thing in trading because you just think, had I just stayed in my original position, I'd be okay. I'd be making profit. It's very difficult. It can play tricks on your mind because if you get into a losing position next time, you can often disregard your own rules and stay in it for too long. But I followed my rules here, both times. I saw what I thought was a high low, a push up, and I bought it. Stop loss below there, and I trailed my stop on the winning position. What I'm thinking at the moment is that this is a third leg down, and it could be a wedge bottom. Reversal pattern. 1, 2, 3. The opening range. If the market were to sell off and make a measured move, it would be down here at 29,308. If that fails, could set up a measured move up of the entire range. I may choose to buy the close of this current bar here if it closes bullish. Buying it. It's just not going the way I planned it. Come on. I I'm going to take profit here. About $300, which was more than I risked. Just show the damage so far. So, about $130 in profit or something so far. Bit of a bummer on the first position, getting stopped out like that, and then it goes down, or I would have taken profit below this low probably. And then I reversed up here. The reason I decided to get out is I was wondering if there were other traders who bought long here and may choose to get out break even around here. I think had I followed my rules, I'd still be in this trade, but I wanted to offset my prior losses. I'd still be in this trade. I'd be making some money, but not $300. So I would have my stop below this bar. Actually, no, it's not completed yet. So I'd have my stop down here. But I was happy to make more than 1-to-1 risk reward. So I took profit here somewhere. Like that. Ironically, I'd be chilling right now. Hard chilling. I'd have my stop loss down here, I think. It's okay. It's only the beginning of the session. Shit, I should have paused my mic for that. Yeah, I'm not feeling amazing, man. I'm feeling better than I was on Wednesday. Because on Wednesday was when the symptoms really hit me. And I didn't take any Panadol on Wednesday. Oh no, I think I did. But a long time after the fever started, I was sitting at the computer thinking, man, I feel awful. I wonder if it's affecting my trading. Probably is. So now there's a little bit of weird price action here in my view. That there was a new low made, and now there's a new high made, or a high broken. I wonder if this could, in the grand scheme of things, turn into a double top bear flag. So a spike down, a move. Oh, drew that wrong. A spike down, a high, another spike down, another high, and it turns into a double top bear flag here. A double top bear flag. Something that I see on larger time frames when there's a sell-off happening. So maybe like an hour. I mean, it's hard to find it here in the Nasdaq because it's just been going higher. On the larger time frame, say something like this. So it spikes down, makes a high, moves down again, traps some more longs here, above there, goes a few ticks above, and then it sets up more down, a double top bear flag. And this whole thing, this is a 60-minute chart, this whole thing turns into a bear flag, and the market makes a measured move down of that flag. So if I take out the fib tool and measure it, it makes a measured move down. Look at that. Look at this. The entire range here, it makes a measured move down to the tick. So it makes a double top here. There and there. Just enough to trap some more longs above there. And then makes a measured move down of the entire range. This is a 60-minute chart. I see this pattern a lot on 60-minute charts, on the larger time frames. And because I think the market is fractal, I think it happens on many time frames. But look how precise this measured move down is to the tick. And bears take profit, and the bears disappear, and the market goes up. But they don't give up until they get the measured move. Sometimes in the past, when I was new to trading, I used to think, what is the reason that it reverses right at this point? Until I realized about these measured moves. The market often makes measured moves of certain ranges. Like if there's a range and it fails to break out somewhere, it will often do a measured move in the opposite direction. And this sort of, if you're looking at this on a 60-minute chart, you might think, oh, it's just mumbo jumbo. Nothing makes sense. It's just up, down, up, down, up, 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 up. But when you actually measure it out, everything becomes clear. The reasons for things become very clear. Yeah. This makes a double top with this, and then gets a measured move down. Anyway, whatever. Big rally now, big rally. Should have stayed in it. Holy crap. So 3 pushes down, a reversal pattern. That was good. Good to watch that play out there. Now I wish I'd stayed in the trade. Down here's where I got long. My risk was tiny. I got out there. Could have had more than a 3-to-1 at the moment. This is one of my problems holding positions though. It becomes a little bit more difficult after I've taken a loss because I think about getting to break even, but that is obviously emotional trading and not like at that point you're trading your account, and I understand that, and you're not trading the market. And I think I said in my yesterday's video, lot of the time with the method that I'm trading, a lot of the time I end up, if I don't follow the rules, I end up costing myself a lot of profit. Like for example here, I took profit, $300, but had I just followed my rules and moved my stop below the prior bar low, I'd still be in this trade, and even if I were to get stopped out below this bar, I'd still have made $250 more on this trade. And if I saw this bar, I might have already moved my stop loss up after it pulled back and bounced, and I would have made twice as much as what I made before. Yeah, I gotta get really a lot better at this, because I do get emotional when I trade. I do make emotional decisions. So be up almost $1,000 at the moment. Oh well. The DAX. Still going up. DAX. A V-shaped recovery now. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, if I were to buy right now, it is potentially running into some resistance up here now. Going to, but I do still think that what I was saying earlier about it possibly wanting to close as strong a bull buy as possible for this week is still, I think it's still bullish. It could even, by the end of the session, hit the high of last week. Because it's so close. So close. And I think if it were to start banging up against this price, it'll probably break out and go for 30k. All-time highs again. Because it's a big round number, psychological level. It'll probably go up there at some point. The sort of in the near future, the Nasdaq. But I just don't know right now how to structure a trade where to pick a moment to get long. Something that makes sense. The thing that I sometimes think of is if I was still long down here, from down here, I'd be moving my stop odds below the prior bar low. So why don't I just buy it and put my stop below the prior bar low? Because in theory, it's the same thing. Losing open profit and losing on a trade is the same thing. So I'm getting close to about an hour and 30 minutes of recording and trading. I find that is my optimal sort of time to trade. If I don't make profit in that time, I think the odds of me having a really profitable session go down after that, or sort of the probability. I've started to think of everything in terms of probabilities because I trade. So I generally don't like to trade more than an hour and a half. If it means trading for an hour and a half, having a big break, coming back trading again, or just stopping trading for the day. Either way, I don't like to be trading for more than an hour and a half. So I think I'm up about 1% for today. Because I'm trading a $30,000 account. This is what I've done today. I'm usually not too unhappy with that, being up 1%. 2, 3. So a little over 1%. The other two trades were in the DAX index during the Euro session. I was trading quarter position size there. I wish I was trading full size. I think some things in trading, I think a lot of traders don't like to hear this, but sometimes I get an intuition about something in trading. I think a lot of traders are like, no, it's all objective, you follow rules. Yeah, I know, I get that, but sometimes I will do something based on something that I've seen through 2 years of watching the European session and the US session every single day without fail, except for when I've got something to do like a dentist appointment. I'm always watching the Open because I want to learn. So I feel like I get an intuition about something, and it's based on something that I'm unable to articulate, but I may have seen and remembered from before. And I got some kind of intuition that the DAX is a piece of shit today. And I decided to trade quarter size. So this was the Open. I just saw this bar, this 2-minute bar, and then this rubbish here. And I was just like, what the fuck is that? It feels like it could just either go like this in one bar, or it could go like this in one bar. I was like, I think I better trade quarter size here. And I bought long here. Took profit here. And I bought long something else. Can't remember. Bought long at 24,753. 24,753. Oh yeah, that's right. I bought long here and took profit here somewhere. Because that's the 3 consecutive bull bars. And I took profit 772. There. 772. Okay. Yeah, I think that was a high probability scalp. There, 3 bull bars, all closing in their high. I thought there's a good chance it goes up a little bit at least. And I put my stop loss below that bar. And I got more than a 1-to-1. I think that was a high probability scalp. I think I'm done for the day. I'm just gonna stop. It's a long weekend now for traders because Monday all the banks are closed. Monday, the 25th of May. Switzerland, France, Germany, UK, US, banks are closed. So it's a long weekend. Something kind of felt to me like today was going to be a big rally because of the holiday on Monday. Because it's the last day of a bullish week overall. I thought it might just stick it up here. Just close the week up here above last week's high. Because it's so close to last week's high. Look at this. Went below the low of the prior bar, and buyers just stepped in buying a pullback. Because it's so bullish. Yeah, all these bull bars. Do you really think that one tiny bear bar is gonna be the catalyst for a huge sell-off? Very unlikely. Very unlikely. It's probably just a pause sideways. Bull flag. be more climactic buying before it reverses. Like a huge, huge bull bar, reaching 30,000 and going above it, then some big profit taking. I would have thought. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna take any more trades tonight. Yeah. I have to review my videos this weekend and see how I traded. Like this little mistake here that I made. Turns out cost me a lot of money here. Getting out too early. There. I really, really have to fix that. Sticking to the rules that I have. I did in the first two trades, which is good. But I think sometimes the instant I take a loss by following my rules, I feel like breaking my rules, and it ends up costing me open profit. Yeah, I gotta fix that. Yep. Would have been making $1,000 here on that trade right now, with a risk of $200 initially. This is part of the reason why I'm doing these recordings. So I can look back at these videos and very objectively figure out where I'm going wrong and how much it's costing me in terms of like open profit. I'm very good these days of not risking a lot and never moving my stop loss like this if the market starts to go against me. So I have that part pretty well figured out. I only move the stop loss up in a long and down in a short. So that part's good. I feel like my reading of the market is okay, is reasonably good. I don't think it needs to be excellent for you to make money in the market. Like it needs to be good, but picking the right direction is only, I think it's only about 30-40% of trading. A lot of it is managing the trade and managing your risk. What a great pattern here though in the NASDAQ. 3 pushes down, a perfect wedge. 1 push down, 2 push down, pull back, going above prior bar high, and a 3rd push down, making a perfect wedge reversal pattern. And now a major trend reversal, and the market seemingly wanting to completely reverse this sell-off, making a major trend reversal and possibly setting up a measured move up of this entire range by the end of the session. This could happen today into the close of the session like this here, very close to 30k, 29,855. It's not impossible. It may do it like this. But it could well happen. I'm going to leave this on the chart so that it gets saved, so that I can see if it does happen, and if my analysis of that is correct, even though I'm not actually in the trade right now. So my week is ending up being, I think, around 6 or 7% up, something like that. That's really good. But a lot of mistakes. Primarily with taking profits too early and leaving a lot of profit on the table. Yep. A lot of profit on the table left this week from taking profit too early. I think I'll get there in the future. I just continue trying to be good. I will get there. Because I can already see that a lot of the time I do actually follow those rules that I mentioned earlier about trailing my stop. And I do make the perfect execution of my style of trading. Like, the perfect execution of my style of trading would have been buying it there where I bought and trailing my stop like this below the prior bar low and getting stopped out here for $750 profit instead of 320 because I stopped myself out. So those are the mistakes that I think following my rules clearly will fix. Because these are the types of moves that I'm trying to catch when I'm scalping. Where I've noticed on the 2-minute chart, when a strong trend is on the way, it doesn't go below prior bar low. So it's like a really rational place to trail my stop to. And as soon as that changes, I'm not allowing a pullback. So I just keep my stop there. Here we go. New highs shortly. I think what I could have done as well is I could have gone along here again. This bar closing on its high. But I've pretty much resigned myself to being done for the week. Would have been risking less than what I was risking on my first position. And had a healthy profit here. Again. Just trailing my stop again like this. Like this. To below the prior bar low. Maybe up here now. Because if it starts, this bar's almost closed. In 20 seconds, if it starts to pull back down further, I would like it to stop me out if I was in a position here. Because as soon as it stops behaving the way I want it to behave, I want it to stop me out. Anyway, I'm going to end the recording now. Review my videos this weekend. If anybody out there does end up watching my videos, thanks for watching.